Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm so pleased to welcome back to my guest. She was here in November of last year, Jade Leeanne Geleynse.
Yes.
Did I get it right? Oh my gosh. Just so you know, just before I started recording, I asked her how do I pronounce her last name, and then it just goes out of my head. I'm so sorry about that. Jade.
That is quite all right. You got it better than most people usually do.
When you were on here, first time we talked about your involvement in politics, right? So are you still involved?
Yeah, so it has, right now with the BC general elections taking place, it has shifted a little bit as to what that kind of looks like, but I am very much looking forward to kind of getting further into the federal side again as things kind of quiet down in the next little bit here.
Right.
And still very much green through and through when it comes to the federal side of things, but I do know that there has been a lot going on in that sphere that have kind of confused and or deterred some people. So I'm hoping we can come back strong from that.
Well, you know, people would just pay attention, I think. I mean, I understand bad things happen, not only with the Green Party. Hello, you know,
No.
there's no exceptions. And if they would just pay attention to what's going on in the other major parties, and vote accordingly, obviously, you know, but I think like one of the things that people have said is, well, they would rather vote for somebody they think is going to win, meaning the two other major parties. And it's like this one or that one. This, to me, that's insane. You know, I just don't, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, you know, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You know?
No, absolutely. I know. I wish everyone could just kind of come forward on the next elections, on all of the elections, and kind of, regardless of the first past the post system, which,
Yeah,
I mean, obviously not ideal. If everyone still actually voted for the people that we want, that they believe should hold these seats and that stand for the values that I think a lot of us, you know, we don't necessarily differ a whole lot when it comes to things like that. But if everyone were to come forward and actually vote for the people that they believe in, I think we would see some tremendous changes regardless of our system.
I agree. Yeah. Now, in the meantime, now we have a municipal election happening here in Chilliwack. That's going to be October 15th. Are you involved at all? I mean, I know you're not running for any of those positions, which is council or for the school board trustee, but are you involved in it, any of it?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's hard not to be involved in some aspect. I think a lot of these people, with it being the local elections, are people that we know, or at least we've heard of. There are quite a few up for re-election, and there are I'm very excited about this local election. I think there's a lot of promise here, just with the people that are stepping forward. Quite a few of them have, you know, they have been living, working, playing, raising families, starting businesses in this community, and had a lot of them have had an extremely positive impact on our community without necessarily being on the board already. So I'm extremely excited for this. And I think, I don't know, I try not to keep myself in my little bubble, because I do know that, you know, as far as voter turnouts go, Chilliwack is lacking. So I'm hoping that more people are stepping up. We have a lot more younger families, new families, just a much larger population overall since the last election. I think our population has gone up something like, I want to say at least, I'm going to say a modest number because I don't want to be too wrong here, but at least 6,000 people, additional kind of people have moved out to Chilliwack. So I'm hoping that those are our voters, or people that, at least, you know, having a young family, I think tends to draw people out who maybe haven't voted in the past before, just because there's a lot more at stake for them, and they're a bit more involved in the school system, and, you know, just seeing the huge impact. Like I think everyone likes to pay attention to the federal one. There's going to be a lot of media, a lot of talk. Everyone kind of gets swept up in it, and that's fantastic. But the impact that our provincial and municipal governments have on our day-to-day life
Yes,
is huge.
absolutely. And it starts with our small election and then cripples, like the ripple effect goes on. Yes, and like you, I'm very excited because I think a number of the new people that are running are very forward thinkers, which I believe is what we need at this time in our lives, you know?
Absolutely. And it's great seeing some of the support that's come up for those progressive candidates, specifically like with the school trustees
Yes.
and the school boards that we have. I think something I'm seeing as well, and I mean, this is the first local election that I'll be living in Chilliwack for and kind of experiencing firsthand, but seeing how the candidates are coming together over their shared values and collaborating as opposed to just kind of competing with everyone. Everyone else that's running has been really promising, and I think a great show of character for the people that we have on the ballot this year.
For sure. Now, I just want to switch the topic a little bit because I don't think we had a chance to speak about what you do for a living. It's Solar Plexed Productions.
Yes, yeah. So that just got started this year. It's lived in different forms, largely just in my head for a lot longer, but this is the year that it kind of came to fruition. So I do community event management and production through that company. I've been in events and tourism and hospitality for, I think it's about 9 years now, and worked in a lot of different positions. I think everyone, when they hear I do events, they're like, oh, like weddings and decor. And I'm like, no, thank you. Like, congratulations on your marriage. All the best. I hope it's a great celebration, but not for me. I tend to lean more towards events that I guess serve and promote a like culture in some form, which is I guess a very vague description, but a lot of it so far has been around like food, the arts, and education as well too. So it's been a lot of fun this year. I think because I have such strong roots in Abbotsford, quite a few of the events this year have taken place out there, but Jam and Jubilee, their free concert series in July, I'm working with their art council on their upcoming Artie Awards, and Mill Lake Music that just wrapped up, and with tourism, Taste of Abbey, so promoting local agriculture and sustainable practices there. And all of these events are kind of annual ones that we are hoping to really build out in a larger way. And then here in Chilliwack, I think a lot more of it, there's a lot more potential here. There's quite a bit that hasn't quite yet made it out to Chilliwack, and so I think there's a lot of opportunity, and you're seeing it already this year with first annual events like the Salmon Run that just happened. That people are really coming together now that we can again, and it seems to just have a really good buzz this year. This summer definitely had a lot of energy behind it, and I am feeling a little relieved now that things are slowing down a little bit, a bit more breathing room, but it's been a fantastic first year, and it's just been really lovely to receive the support that I have in this community and in Abbotsford as well too. I think anybody that's starting a business for the first time, or a business period, you never know. You don't want to get your hopes too high up, and you don't know if it'll be, something that you can sustain full time. So I feel very lucky to be able to do that now.
Well, I'm planning an event, not something that you would probably be involved with, but I might just pick your brain.
Absolutely.
Because I'm planning this Chilliwack Cupcake Festival in December.
I think I've been hearing a bit of buzz online about that already.
And I know I can apply for a grant from the city. I just don't know how to calculate the budget, and like, oh my gosh, it's going to be massive, of course, because it's going to be right across the whole of Chilliwack, right? And hopefully set up like little pockets of people that can take care of their little community. And then there's this whole thing about, you have to have those kitchens, like use a restaurant kitchen, or some kind of a kitchen with food safe like I can't just cook them at home and then just give them out, apparently. I don't see why. What's the difference is feeding my family and feeding the neighborhood?
There is a little loophole there that farm markets fall into as far as food safe regulations go. If you had it, if next year it turns into something that could be seasonal, but I would be happy to kind of run through some of that stuff with you. I think, I don't know. I love hearing about little events like sort of not little events, but smaller events that have a much bigger impact. Like it doesn't have to be some big grandiose kind of,
No,
gala or something like that.
yeah, it's just like have a cupcake. That's it, that's all I want to do is everybody in Chilliwack to have a chance to have a cupcake, period. No ulterior motives. They're not for sale, it's just, because of COVID and because of people having been feeling isolated for so long. And then there's this whole, I'm not sure so much here, but you do hear about it where people are getting nasty and angry and, taking things out on other people that they shouldn't be. So I thought, I want to do something that just makes people smile, period. No cost, just have a smile, have a cupcake, something simple, right? But it's not simple in the idea that it's right across the city.
But it gives more opportunity for people to get involved, and having it be a free event like that, I think that's definitely a huge side of events that I don't think has been explored enough, at least out this way quite yet, although United Way and there's some awesome other groups locally here doing some great work to make fun events like this accessible for everybody who wants to take part.
Yes, and I already have like the bookman said that they can be a distribution, people can pick them up there, and same with Ken's Tire. So I want to do more of that. And I don't know how to approach businesses, to say, hey, would you donate? We need supplies, we need so much stuff, but I'm no good at that part, so I have to I create like a council or, group of people to help me because currently there's just myself and my friend Rev. Other people said they want to get involved, but I just need to help with organizing everything. I'm a more of an idea person rather than a detail when it comes to stuff like that. So, oh, Nancy, what are you doing? But anyway, it doesn't matter. But I didn't realize that what Solar, what was it, the name? Solar Plexed Production was. And there's something else. I've got to get this back to you. I apologize. I have to get this back to you. And you also work for a local food supply company?
Yeah, so that actually, that one wrapped up late last year, just before Christmas. So they're still going and running out in Abbotsford there. It was a fantastic initiative starting during COVID. With some great business owners out there, Josh from Fieldhouse Brewing, Jason Lepp from Lepp Farm Market, and a few other people all came together to build essentially like an online farmers market. Because what they saw during COVID was just so many, with the restaurants closing down, a lot of local farmers, lost the contracts that they had for their produce and the meats and things like that they were producing. And so you had this surplus of local, fantastic, really good food, produce, processed food, all of that, that was just going to waste while we were, flocking to your Costco's and your Save-Ons for import products. So they wanted to create almost like a delivery system, but just for locally made or produced or grown goods. And that grew quite well. And then they ended up expanding to open up a bakery, because as much as I love being in Chilliwack for all the small businesses, and we've got no shortage of amazing bakeries out this way, they were a bit lacking out there. So they expanded to open that, and the Lepp family came in and greatly supported that venture. And so now they exist under the name Lepp Daily Market. And a few of the team members are still there and doing really great work. But some of the kind of just priorities and alignment shifted a little bit with those changes. And I think that was the sort of kick in the pants that I needed to get off and get this going. So I still pop in there quite a bit because they have some really awesome food and dips and stuff like that I can't find anywhere else. But yeah.
One of the things I learned doing the show is that how, like, I only know Chilliwack, how businesses can be so generous, can be so willing to support or participate in some way. You know, it doesn't always have to be freebies, but there, you know, when I was before COVID, I needed a location to do my show, and I was given a free location, you know, by a business, right? So stuff like that is so wonderful, right?
It is. I think I was just reading something this morning, actually, that's coming to mind in sort of a parallel with this, of just human nature. A lot of times when that's just human nature, it's commonly a term that we use more for some of our more negative attributes, I guess. But in reality, I'm of the mindset and belief that we are inherently generous and very community orientated beings. And I think a lot of that, like, I've been pleasantly surprised in some recent conversations surrounding the local election with people that I think I kind of had previously made some assumptions in my brain about, you know, the types of things that they might be valuing and looking for. But when you really dive into conversations with people, I'm finding like everyone wants to do good. They want to contribute to their community. They want to be an active player. They want to support others. It's just, how to go about doing that changes from person to person. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there as well, too, with us being so varied and diverse. Like, there's so many different things that we can be doing to just simply brighten another person's day with cupcakes or something.
Whatever it is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've interviewed a woman who delivers books to people, mostly to seniors, to people shut in, to read, right? It's all free. And it started off because her mother I think her mother was in the facility. I can't quite remember the details yet, but her mother needed stuff to read. So she started doing that. And then some of the other women there wanted, books to read. So it's kind of snowballed. So it's like, there's so many little things that start off small and just seem to spread, right?
Yeah, there is. And you can see it in all of the organizations, I think, out through here, like your Bowls of Hope. It does so much out here, the kindness chain, and a lot of these, they range from covering some of the more larger issues to just bringing joy and sharing and kind of exemplifying the good human nature that we all have.
Yeah, a young friend of mine at the UFV started a wildlife protection club, and then they decided they needed a fundraiser, which was organized by another one, Molly Tilden, and they were looking for paintings and original artwork, that represented represented animals in some or nature in some way, and because of my show, I was able to ask a couple of artists if they'd be willing to contribute, and they did. And this one person, his work has been shown at the gallery, so he donated something, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like, I love people who, like, even if they have a great representation, don't think they're too big to do something like that, or they're too, their egos haven't gotten so big that's like, no, I don't participate. That's one of the things that I enjoy, right?
Yes.
When people don't think so much of themselves, that they're generous of their spirit and their time.
Yeah, I think empathy plays a huge role in that, and just kind of realizing that some of the more unfortunate circumstances that you can kind of come across or end up in life can happen so quickly, and as a result of just totally unforeseen circumstances. So I think there has been actually quite a few silver linings that we've been able to pick out over everything that's been happening these last couple years, and we're really feeling, or at least I'm feeling, that sort of coming to fruition. A lot of people who were kind of nudged in a different direction, or kind of redirected, have gone off starting their own things, or really just making more intentional decisions around their preferred line of work and employment, and extending what they can to others. And it's been really, really amazing. I think Chilliwack's in a state of transition, and I really think that we're going to come out better for it.
Right. Yeah. Now, good. And now, talk again. Once again, just remind people about Solar Plexed Productions, because I would like very much to promote that. I think it's an awesome thing. So, what type of events would you be putting on?
So I am. Thank you, first and foremost. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I am looking to really just get involved more in the community arts realm out here. I actually just joined the Chilliwack Creative Arts Council out this way. So I'm excited to bring some awesome things to life with them there. And just continuing to spread some of the education as well, applicable education that's sort of more relevant and hopeful,
Yeah.
kind of as it relates to some of the more daunting social and environmental issues that we're having to deal with more and more these days. And I'm excited next year to start actually producing and sort of self-hosting some smaller events and workshops. A couple of those that I have in mind are like an inner child series for adults to kind of get more in tune again with their childhood self and that sense of wonder and play. That's one that I'm really excited about. And I'm working with UFE as well too, to help develop a forum that can help bridge the gap between the multiple governing bodies that we have and our citizens so that they can communicate some of the efforts that they're doing around climate change on an annual basis, so that they kind of have some foundation and something to turn back to, and a way of just communicating and engaging with the community. Because that's one thing I find our city and province and country really do want to be able to better represent their people. It's just a way, everything's gotten so bogged down online that if you're really not adamantly checking and following these groups, it is easy to miss some of the updates or surveys and things like that come out. So those are a few of the things that are close and near and dear to me, but I love working with organizations, groups, and individuals who have their own ideas that they want to bring to life that kind of fall into that realm of enriching the community and educating and just kind of celebrating the diversity and bridging the gaps. I think we've become very siloed in more than one way. And I think that we can do better at that, at coming together over our commonalities.
Yes.
We have many, many, many more of those than we do differences, as much as it doesn't feel like that when you're looking at catchy headlines online. But
So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what would be the best way?
Instagram right now is the best way. I'm finding this year has been so busy for me that I haven't been doing the best of jobs of keeping up on social media. But Instagram is just kind of the easiest one for me, honestly. Email always works too. I'm getting, my website is just getting revamped right now, so there'll be something a bit more tangible, but I am not, I still welcome the personal DM as well too, if that's the easiest way. Like any way you can get a hold of me, I'm there. If you're a part of Rotary, you'll see me around in the Friday Club. So I'm open to any and all.
Okay, so on what's your name on Instagram? What name do you use?
I just have it under Solar Plexed right now.
Yeah.
And then I do have a personal Instagram as well, though I do tend to keep that one a bit more private. But if people find me on there too, that works.
Okay, so when I post this, when on your name, if I put the email address that I used today, that's a good one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Just stay on camera. Everybody, thank you so much for watching the show. I'm going to include Jade's information, well, her email address if you want to get a hold of her, and hopefully you do. Help get this Solar Plexed Productions going really strong. I think we all need stuff like that happening in our lives. And thank you again for watching this show. And remember to be nice, because there's no reason not to. And take care of everybody. And peace out.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.